Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about. So I am going to be going through with you the 5 players that should leave Manchester United in the summer, because Solsjaker is planning what players to get rid of in the summer transfer window. I'm also going to be talking with you a bit more about Jack Grealish and James Maddison. Who would you recommend to Manchester United out of Maddison and Grealish? I do want to know when I delve into that topic a bit later on in the video. And I'm going to be talking with you a bit more about Paul Pogba. So I think, the 5 players that should leave Manchester United in the summer. I think definitely, Phil Jones is one of the players that does need to leave, because Phil Jones now doesn't even get into the team. Now, of course, Phil Jones is this his 9th season with Manchester United. He has been a long-serving player, and he has been here since the Alex Ferguson era. Now, obviously, we've got a lot of centre-halves in the team. We've got Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof that are our first-choice centre-halves. Obviously, you've got Eric Bailly and Tuan Zebe that are our backup centre-halves. And obviously, like I said, Phil Jones is not going to get in the team. So I think Manchester United need to offload him in the summer transfer window. Obviously, we made the wrong decision last season by giving Phil Jones a new long-term contract. So I can almost assure that he'll be one player that's on his way out of the football club in the summer. Now, I think another player that needs to leave Manchester United in the summer, and it's expected to happen anywhere, and that's Jesse Lingard. Now, I was talking with you guys about Jesse Lingard earlier on this week, because it was stemming from The Athletic earlier on this week, saying that Arsenal had expressed their interest in Jesse Lingard. He said they could try to sign Jesse Lingard, because they're seeing him as an alternative to Dani Ceballos. Now, obviously, Arsenal have got Dani Ceballos on loan from Real Madrid, but reports were emerging out saying that it's very unlikely that Arsenal will get Dani Ceballos on a permanent transfer, because they've got insufficient funds. It cost Arsenal around £40 million to get Dani Ceballos on a permanent transfer. I don't know why, they'd even want Jesse Lingard, because Jesse Lingard hasn't registered one goal or one single assist in over a year in the Premier League. Don't forget, Man United and Arsenal have done business in the past. Obviously, we got Sanchez from them back in January 2018 as part of a swap deal of Mkhitaryan going to Arsenal. Don't forget, they got Welbeck from us, was it 4 or 5 years ago now? Something like that. We also got Robin Van Persie from them back in 2012, and you can say he won the league in Ferguson's last season, reflecting on the amount of goals he did score. But it said Arsenal have expressed an interest in him. We value Jesse Lingard at around £30 million. I think now he's got exactly a year left on his contract with Man United. But like I've mentioned before, reflect on his status and the number of years he's been at Manchester United, Lingard should be putting much more better performances out without a shadow of a doubt. But, Lingard has lost the confidence of Solsjaker, and since the arrival of Bruno Fernandes, Lingard has found game time very, very difficult. Lingard, I think, in the Premier League's made around 131 appearances for us, and he has scored around 17 goals. He's been loaned out at quite a few clubs. Don't forget, he had a loan spell with Leicester City, Birmingham City, Brighton and Derby. It also said earlier on this week that Everton had expressed an interest in Jesse Lingard. This is what it said, yeah. Maybe if Everton were to get him, then Carlo Ancelotti will be planning to put him as a central midfielder or put him just behind one of their strikers. So it said Everton were also interested in Jesse Lingard. They've got a few good midfielders of Everton. They've got Andrea Gomez, they've got Gylfi Sigurdsson, they've obviously, got Alex Iwobi in that. So maybe, they'll be interested in recommending Jesse Lingard in. Now, like I said, Man United and Everton have also done business in the past. Don't forget we got Romelu Lukaku from them back in 2017. They got Michael Keane offers. If I'm right, didn't they get Morgan Schneidlin off Man United as well, if I can remember rightly? So Man United and Everton have done business in the past. But Man United have got to get rid of Jesse Lingard in the summer transfer window. Also, too, Andres Pereira, I think he's another player that's on his way out of the football club. Right, Andres Pereira only became a regular last season, don't forget. And, Andres Pereira, I just think he's a liability. So basically, I've got the same perception on Andres Pereira than what I've got on Jesse Lingard. Now, I think Andres Pereira's got a contract with the club. Is it until 2023? Don't forget, Pereira had loan spells with Granada and Valencia in Spain. But yeah, he's one player I think also too Manchester United are going to get rid of. So that's another one. And I do believe, well, I think they should do. Man United should try and get rid of Sanchez on a permanent transfer. Now, I actually think that Sanchez is set to stay at Manchester United, and I think he's actually going to see out the remainder of his contract. Sanchez is under contract with Man United until 2022. Now, obviously, Solskjaer did say back in January that Sanchez would come back to prove everybody wrong and that he would be given a second opportunity at the football club. Now, the main explanation why Sanchez is set to stay at Man United is because he is refusing to take a pay cut. Now, Sanchez, of course, endured 18 months at Manchester United and a difficult 18 months. Obviously, he was on like 400 grand a week, potentially rising up to 500 grand a week based on the bonuses and the image rights, etc., etc. And reiterate what I said before, his wages were having a really bad effect on the football club where Alexis Sanchez is. Now, Sanchez made 45 appearances in all competitions and only managed 5 goals throughout his 18 months with Man United. But now he is on loan at Inter Milan, is Sanchez. He's on loan at Inter Milan. And he's endured a very, very difficult time with Inter Milan. I think he's been out of an ankle injury, but despite the fact that he's on loan at Inter Milan, we're still paying the vast majority of his wages. We're still paying Sanchez around £300,000 a week, and Inter Milan are paying like the other £100,000. But we need to get rid of him on a permanent transfer. Yes, we do. And I don't think Inter Milan are going to get Sanchez on a permanent transfer. No, they're not. But, when we got him from Arsenal back in January 2018, I thought it would have been an exceptional signing for us. Reflecting on, what he did in his 3.5, 4 years with Arsenal. He also played under Pep Guardiola's guidance when he was younger at Barcelona. So I think we should get rid of Sanchez, but maybe, he's coming back and he's going to be set to stay at the football club. So there's negativity coming out about that. And I think Sanchez was our last number 7. It said last week, I think it was, that West Ham had expressed an interest in Sanchez and West Ham had been in negotiations with his agent. So, yeah. So, that's the latest news on him. But if we get rid of Sanchez, then it'll free up our wage pool completely, won't it? If we can find a permanent buyer for him. So, yeah, I think we should get rid of him. Also, too, I think, we'll get rid of Chris Smalling on a permanent transfer. We'll get rid of him on a permanent transfer, Chris Smalling. I'm very, very sceptical that he will come back to Manchester United. I've got to be honest with you, I think he's done very, very well, Chris Smalling, since he's gone out on loan with Roma. But Chris Smalling did endure 9 years at Manchester United, so he was a very long-serving player. So I think we're going to get rid of him on a permanent transfer. If Roma don't get qualification for the Champions League, then maybe Smalling won't remain loyal to them. Maybe he'll come back to the Premier League, but won't come back to Manchester United and that. Rojo as well. I think, we'll probably negotiate on getting rid of him on a permanent transfer because he's on loan at Estudiantes, is Marcus Rojo. So, yeah. Solskjaer's going to axe around 5 players in the summer. Maybe we'll get rid of 6 players in the summer transfer window and that. Obviously, like I updated you yesterday and the day before, I'll reiterate what I said. Solskjaer insists he will exploit the transfer market when it does reopen. Solskjaer does believe we'll get the players that we want, reflecting on our strong financial position. Because obviously, Solskjaer knows, reflecting on this coronavirus outbreak, that a lot of teams are under financial pressure, and he knows that teams will have to offload their players to generate funds. So that's good, what Solskjaer has said. And our transfer budget has been revealed. We're going to be given around £150 million to spend this summer on, recruiting more players in. Now, do you think £150 million is enough? But obviously, if we, like I said, sell players, our transfer budget will increase. It will be more than £150 million. But, so far, Solskjaer spent quite a bit of money at the club. He spent around £220 million in 3 transfer windows, and he has recommended 5 players in. And I've got to credit Solskjaer, for the 5 players that he has recommended in so far. Solskjaer has also identified the areas where he wants to strengthen up. He's basically, he agreed this with Mike Phelan, was it, back in September? And, he told Mike Phelan the areas where he wanted to strengthen up. He wants to recommend a centre forward in. He wants to recommend a right winger in. And he also wants to recommend a central midfielder in. And Solskjaer's revealed that he wants to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer, because that's how many signings he believes that Man United need to become title contenders next season. But even before this coronavirus outbreak, it confirmed that, Solskjaer, was going to be backed in the summer transfer window and that. But I think, we can get the right players that we want. If we can get qualification for the Champions League, then we can definitely, get the right calibre players in that can elevate Manchester United forward. So around 5 players, 6 players to go in the summer, and around, 3 or 4 to come in the summer. And that's what I expect to see. So now I'm going to be talking with you about Grealish, Jack Grealish and James Maddison. So who would you want out of Grealish and James Maddison? Let me know in the comments below. Now, I've been reading recent reports about Jack Grealish. Now, this was stemming from the Daily Express. Now, it says if Villa are to let their captain go, they would want, a player in return if they're to let Jack Grealish go. And it said, they're interested in recommending Alex Tuanzebe in as part of a deal of Grealish coming to Manchester United. Now, maybe, Man United would go along with this. I don't think, there'd be a swap deal involved of Grealish, coming to Manchester United. I just think it'd be a straight cash deal without any swap deal involved. Now, there's a great chance we could get Jack Grealish in the summer transfer window. He's expected to cost us around 60, maybe £70 million if Villa are to avoid relegation. But if Villa were to be relegated, on the other hand, then maybe, wouldn't have to pay 60 or £70 million for the player. I think Jack Grealish does want to leave Aston Villa anyway. Now, he is one of our priority targets for the summer. Don't forget, recently Charlie Nicholas gave his verdict on it, and he believes that Jack Grealish's valuation will persistently go up. Also, too, Andy Gray come out earlier on this week, and he believes that Manchester United should sign Jack Grealish and sell Paul Pogba and that. But, we've been long admirers of the player, and it did actually, say our move for Jack Grealish hinges on the sale of Paul Pogba and that. So what it means in that aspect is that if we sell Paul Pogba, then we can get Jack Grealish on the board. But, people, Andy Gray does believe that it will represent a bargain. Now, Jack Grealish has remained loyal to Aston Villa for years. He's been there for several years, and, he's been a Villa player since the age of 6. He's been in their senior squad since 2014, and since then, Grealish has become an integral part of Aston Villa's team, and he's definitely flourished under Dean Smith's guidance. Grealish, was key to Villa getting to the Carabao Cup final this season. He was also, key for their promotion to the Premier League. And yeah, but Villa wouldn't want to lose him. And he's predominantly an attacking midfielder, he's Grealish, and he occasionally can play as a winner. So I believe Grealish is going to follow the footsteps of James Milner and Gareth Barry, because don't forget, they're also former Aston Villa players. Grealish has still got a contract with Aston Villa until 2023, but I don't think there's any buyout clause inserted. But yeah, only at the age of 24. And, don't forget, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does want to continue the policy of recruiting young players to Manchester United. But I think, there's a chance we can get Jack Grealish on the board, because Solskjaer is planning to put someone alongside Bruno Fernandes in our midfield. So yeah, Jack Grealish to Man United is possible in the summer. Now, James Maddison, he'd cost a similar amount or the exact same amount as Jack Grealish, like I mentioned yesterday. James Maddison will probably cost us around 70 or 80 million pounds. I do believe, from my own perception, there's much better chance of us getting Jack Grealish than he is James Maddison, because don't forget, Leicester have been in negotiations for quite some time now over getting, James Maddison a contract extension. As it stands at the moment, Maddison's got 3 years left on his contract with Leicester. He's under contract with them until 2023. But Brendan Rodgers recently gave his overarching view on it. He insists that James Maddison is happy with Leicester. Now, James Maddison, of course, is into his second season with Leicester. I think he's made around 70 appearances in all competitions. 64 of those appearances have come in the Premier League. And, I've got to say he's been a revelation. So this season, Maddison is replicating what he did in his first season, because in his first season, he was phenomenal. He created more chances than any other player in the Premier League. So that's a very, very good start. Leicester did pay around £20 million for him from Norwich in the summer of 2018. He had a good couple of years in the Championship with Norwich. He also had a loan spell in Scotland with Aberdeen. And when he was younger, he began his career with Coventry, raising up their youth system. But, for us to convince Leicester to offload him, like I mentioned, we'd have to pay around maybe 70 or £80 million. But I think, there's no main explanation why I'd want to leave Leicester at the moment, because, Leicester have enjoyed a very, very good season. What are they sitting second or third in the league? I think they're going to get qualification for the Champions League. But like I mentioned, Leicester have lost quite a few of their imperative players in recent years. They lost Maguire to us last summer, for £80 million we got him for. So we've done business with Leicester. They also lost Raheem Mahrez to City in the summer of 2018. They also lost N'Golo Kante and Danny Drinkwater to Chelsea. But, Brendan Rodgers has been at Leicester now over the year. And, Leicester did recruit around 5 or 6 players in last summer, didn't they? They got I think they got Dennis Pryor in, James Justin. Don't forget, they also got Yori Tillmans. So they did, recruit quite a few players in. But I don't think, Manchester United will get James Maddison, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. He's 23, he's predominantly an attacking midfielder. I'm very, very sceptical that we'll sign Grealish and Maddison. I don't think we'll sign both players. I think we'll sign one of them. And I think it's actually, going to be Grealish. But just let me know, who would you prefer? I just want to know, I want you to know in your comments below. But, Maddison did fuel speculation up the other week. Was it last week? I think it was, because he did reveal the best players he's ever played with. And he did say Harry Maguire and Marcus Rashford, who are 2 Manchester United players. And he also said Jadon Sancho on that. So, so that's the latest news on that. But there's a few midfielders on our agenda. But like I said, Solsjaker is chasing 4 priority signings. And that's Sancho, Grealish, Maddison and Bellingham. And they would cost us, if we were to get all them 4 players, they'd cost us around £290 million. That's our £290 million transfer wish list. So let's delve now into news on Paul Pogba. So according to Fabrizio Romano, again, who tends to be a very reliable Italian journalist, and whatever he reports, and I do, tend to believe in it a lot, he says now that Paul Pogba will not buy out the remainder of his contract, because the Sun said not too long ago that Paul Pogba will take a FIFA transfer regulation to buy out the remainder of his contract for around £50 million. But the Sun doesn't tend to be reliable, does it? Some media outlets and that, the vast majority of their stories, they just do it to justify their existence. But so Pogba won't be buying out the remainder of his contract. Now, I do probably not expect Paul Pogba to leave Manchester United in the summer transfer window. I think his actual priority is to join Real Madrid. He could also make a return back to Juventus, where he did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus, but the vast majority of his performances at Man United since he rejoined have been totally comparison to his ones at Juventus. Now, there's still uncertainty over Paul Pogba's future, because it's not fully assured yet that he's going to leave. Paul Pogba has revealed that he does want to leave Manchester United, so he's got the same perception now than what he had last summer, because last summer Pogba revealed that he wanted to leave Manchester United because he was seeking for a new challenge, and he actually publicly admitted that he wanted to leave the football club. His preference was a move to Real Madrid last summer, but the main explanation is why his move to Real Madrid didn't materialise last summer is reflecting on the substantial amount we put on him, because we wanted £180 million. Real Madrid were not willing to meet our £180 million asking price. because we was basically demanding just over double than what we paid for him from Juventus back in 2016, because we paid £89 million for him from Juventus back in 2016. That's how much Manchester United paid for him. And yeah, he's our most expensive signing at the moment. But that's why his move didn't materialise, reiterate what I said. So, you know... But there has been swap deals on the agenda, like I mentioned recently, and swap deals, are very, very rare in the modern game, but they do happen. Now, obviously, the other week there was talks about, Aaron Ramsey coming to Man United as part of a swap deal of Pogba going to Juventus. Last week there was talks of De Ligt coming to Manchester United as part of a swap deal of Pogba going back to Juventus. Don't forget, like I updated you yesterday, it did say, from the Spanish press that Manchester United were interested in James Rodriguez. And, he said we could include Paul Pogba in a swap deal for him and that. Would you take James Rodriguez at Manchester United? So, yeah, swap deals are on the agenda now. Real Madrid are looking to offload a few of their players, looking to get rid of James Rodriguez. James Rodriguez has just recently come back from a 2-year loan with Bayern. Yeah, James Rodriguez is served his 2 requirements at Real Madrid. I think Madrid are looking for like 30 odd million for James Rodriguez, even though they paid 63 million for him from Monaco. He's out of contract with Real Madrid in the summer of 2021, which is next year. I think they're also looking to offload Gareth Bale. They're looking to get rid of Dani Ceballos on a permanent transfer. But Real Madrid, did recruit a good 5 or 6 players in last summer, but I think their number one priority target is Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba was talking a lot about Real Madrid last year, about his dream to play for them, and obviously, with it, he'd be excited about playing under Zinedine Zidane's guidance. The beneficial thing is that, Zinedine Zidane has got a good relationship with Paul Pogba. Also, too, Mini Raiola, his agent's got a good relation with Real Madrid. And Mini Raiola's been talking a lot, hasn't he, since the turn of the year. Ed Woodward's had a few negotiations with him over trying to resolve Pogba's future. Also, too, Mini Raiola did say he wants to take a great footballer to Real Madrid, and he believes, Mini Raiola, that Pogba's having a complicated time at Manchester United, which he is having a complicated time at Manchester United. Pogba's only played 8 times this season. His appearances have been limited due to his injuries. His appearances have been limited. But yes, they have, been trying to resolve his future and that. And I think, we've been in negotiations over getting Pogba a new contract. Obviously, as it stands at the moment, Pogba's got 2 years left on his contract, 1 year with an option of a further year. Probably more than likely, Man United will trigger that 1 year extension on his contract. But since Pogba rejoined the club from Juventus back in 2016, he's just had a long running transfer saga. So we just basically now need to end this saga. But, we want at least 100 million for him in the summer, but I think actually his valuation has dropped. Now, maybe we could only get around £70 million for Paul Pogba, but I said it's imperative. It's very imperative, sorry, that, we get more money than what we paid for him from Juventus and that. But I can see, Pogba leaving the football club in the summer. And us getting rid of him as well, it'll free up our wage bill completely, because he's on like £300,000 a week at Manchester United. Mikel Sylvester believes that, his head is not at Manchester United. But, the other week it was saying that, quite a few weeks ago, this was all before the football was suspended. It said that Paul Pogba was interested in staying at Man United, and he was interested in extending his contract to the club. And he did say he believes he can form a good partnership with Bruno Fernandes. And I think they would make a good partnership in our midfield. And Pogba should play again for Manchester United, before he does eventually, leave the football club. But we will see what happens. But yeah, he's reportedly now he's not going to buy out the remainder of his contract and that. So that's the latest news on Paul Pogba. Obviously, I was talking with you about Jadon Sancho yesterday. One eye on my videos. Now, reportedly, Jadon Sancho could reject a move to Manchester United in the summer. Now, we've been emerged as the favourites to sign Jadon Sancho, but I was reading the Daily Express yesterday, and they said, that Jadon Sancho reportedly now doesn't want to make a move to Manchester United. The main explanation for this is because his preference is a move to La Liga to either join Real Madrid or Barcelona, and because reportedly, he's got a greater chance of winning the Ballon d'Or. So he may now turn down a move to Manchester United, Jadon Sancho. He said earlier on this week if Man United fail to get qualification for the Champions League, then maybe Jadon Sancho will reject a move to Old Trafford. Now, the main explanation why I missed out on him last year is because we had no Champions League football to offer. Obviously, there's been a lot of uncertainty over Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's future. There's been a lot of uncertainty over Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's future and that. But if we are to get Jadon Sancho, he's going to cost us at least 100 million. Probably, he's going to cost us 120 million pounds. But either figure is going to make him our most expensive signing, and it's going to make him a record signing in the Premier League. Yes, it is in that. And it did say, Man United are willing to offer Jadon Sancho around £400,000 a week. Obviously, that will make him the best player as well as our most expensive signing. And it says Man United are willing to offer Jadon Sancho the iconic number 7. And like I said, we've had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations. But even reflecting on this coronavirus crisis, it's not convincing Borussia Dortmund to lower their asking price, so they are remaining ruthless over their valuation. So they've notified us and said, we've got to pay their full asking price to convince them to offload Jadon Sancho. Now, Borussia Dortmund have come to accept the fact that Sancho wants to leave, so they've got, a couple of players on their agenda who could replace him. That's Ferran Torres from Valencia, who's a winner, and also Jude Bellingham from Birmingham. But Borussia Dortmund are going to make a huge profit on the player because they only paid around 8 million for him from Man City. That's the beneficial thing as well. He's played in the Premier League before. He endured 2 years with Man City, but he never got assured any first-team opportunities at Man City, and this is the main explanation why he left City to join Borussia Dortmund. And now he's into his 3rd season with Borussia Dortmund, but I've got to say, since his arrival in Germany, he has been a revelation as the player, and he's under contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2022. And he's predominantly a right winger. And, we have been in negotiations with Jadon Sancho's agent for around 2 months now. That was also stemming from Fabrizio Romano quite a few weeks ago now. But there's still a chance, Man United can get Jadon Sancho on the board. I think the beneficial thing about recommending him in is that he's got a great friendship with Marcus Rashford. And I think, Sancho coming to Man United, he'd go well alongside Rashford and Martial in our attacking line. It'd be one of the club's best attacks, let's put it that way. But Marcus Rashford did reveal that he wants Jadon Sancho at Manchester United next season. So it could be our first signing in the summer transfer window. But it is good that we are making plans for the summer. And I can almost assure that Solskjaer will be Manchester United manager next season. I think the only way he could get the sack is that, if Manchester United fail to get qualification for the Champions League and that. But when the football season does eventually resume, we have got quite a few ambitions. One of those ambitions is the Europa League, because that's a chance for us getting some silverware on the board. Also, too, the FA Cup's a priority for us because that's a chance for us getting some silverware on the board, and we haven't won out yet in terms of silverware under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And as it stands at the moment, we are sitting 5th in the Premier League, and we are sitting 3 points behind Chelsea in that. Yes, we are. And Solskjaer, has been at Manchester United now for around 16 months. He's been Man United manager over the year, including, the 3 months when he was the interim manager. But Solskjaer did really, really well in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. And, that's the main explanation why he'd been given the job on a permanent basis. Since he got the job permanently, let's be honest, his record has been disastrous. This season we've enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. Towards the back end of last season, we'd lost 5 of our last 9 Premier League games. But I just feel as though Solskjaer does need more time, to rebuild a good squad. And like I mentioned, analysing the vast majority of these players, they are not Solskjaer's. The vast majority of these players are Jose Mourinho's. But Solskjaer's inheriting players, that other managers have obviously not brought in. There's only 5 players that are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer so far that he recommended into the football club. But not every manager settles in straight away. When we recommended Ferguson in, he didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club. But then look what he went and accomplished after, not winning out in his first 4 years. One of the greatest managers of all time. Won the vast majority of our silverware under Ferguson. We've had a lot of success up and down the generations. Jurgen Klopp didn't settle in straight away at Liverpool, but Solskjaer needs time. He definitely needs time. He needs time, yeah, because, you can't get everything right, just after a year and that. I've got to take some positives from his tenure, like I've mentioned before. I've got to credit him for the players he's brought in. He's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he's come in. I think he's also promoted the youth very, very well. We are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions as well. Best vein of form since Solskjaer was the interim manager. Also, too, with Solskjaer's showed a lot of tactical flexibility against elite opposition. So his approach to the big games have also been very, very good, and we've registered like 17 points against the big 6 sides this season. We haven't been so good against lower opposition. We've had some big wins under Solskjaer as well, which is also a positive. So they're the positives you can take. Solskjaer, is inexperienced as a manager, but the longer he remains in the Man United job, he's going to be gaining more experience in that. But he's got the backing of Ed Woodward, and he's also got the backing of the Glazers. But Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager since the Ferguson era. Since the Ferguson era, we've had different managers with different philosophies, but we've seen 3 managers go since the Ferguson era. We saw Moyes go, Louis van Gaal, and Jose Mourinho, and over 30-odd players have been recruited in since the Alex Ferguson era, and we spent nearly in the £1 billion range on recruiting new players in. And that's including, what we've spent so far under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. But yeah, we need to, give him more time and see what happens. The Premier League season is being suspended since the 9th of March. It's been suspended for a month now. I think it's going to resume in July, and obviously the season will be completed behind closed doors. But it just basically resume when it is safe to do so. Everyone wants football back, but obviously, public health is more of a priority than football. Like I mentioned, obviously, we've donated 30% of our wages to the NHS. So to Liverpool, quite a few players' wages have been cut as well by around 30%. So yeah. So anyway, guys, drop me comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.